Good morning, guys. I'm Chad LaChance. That's Austin Parr. This is Jumbo Reservoir. If you're a fan of the show, you have seen us here before. We're in Northeast Colorado. This is kind of a revenge show. We came to this lake 2 years ago and filmed. Hit some rough conditions. Still caught tons of fish, but we didn't catch the walleyes we came for. This time we brought Austin Parr with us. Austin spends a lot more time here.
Quite a bit.
He'd been here several times this year. I had never been here before, so this is my second trip. We're gonna try to catch some walleyes up shallow. You think we can get them done?
I think we can definitely do it. Maybe some multi-species going on as well.
There you go, crappies, other things. If we don't get the walleyes shallow, we'll move out deep and see if we can catch them out there. But regardless, today we're gonna target the walleyes. We got a beautiful summer day, so stay tuned, guys. This should be fun.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. Peterson Toyota, Fort Collins, Colorado. St. Croix Rods, best rods on earth. Berkeley, catch more fish. Abu Garcia, for life. Otterbox, the great outdoors just got greater with coolers, dry duffels, and tumblers.
All right, guys, if you look down at his Lowrance unit right there is a bunch of fish. And now we're gonna do a little short hump right here and see if we can pick up some fish on this hump real quick. So you can see we've got impending weather and it is only 6:30 in the morning. And so we are gonna be real diligent about getting fish to bite quick if possible this morning. Can't believe I'm cold after yesterday.
Fish.
Got him. Nicely done, Austin. Took him 3 casts. He said if we didn't catch him shallow, we'd catch him in the trees. Didn't catch him in the trees, I should say. We'd catch him out on a hump.
Smaller one right here.
We don't need to net that guy. You got him. All right, but we're now just a couple minutes into our day, and what you got there? Okay, that's a walleye. So now you say they get bigger than that in here.
Yep, that seems to be the touch smaller one, so hopefully we'll be able to.
Touch smaller, I hope that's a lot smaller. Just kidding, we're happy to have him. So quick adjustment, guys. We might have made 20 casts each up real shallow. Didn't get our bites quick. We're trying to make hay while the sun's shining because like I said, you can see the storm that's already bearing down on us. So we made a huge change and got away from the cover altogether, got out on a hump. A couple casts, quick business.
Yep, absolutely, and that usually is what's supposed to happen. So
I've got a thin fisher blade and you've got a gliding jig. So did you bid again?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to get me a gliding. Oh, I got bumped. I'm gonna have to get a gliding bait out. And that's another one. Look at him rowing on these things now. All right, this is my last throw with a gliding bait, or without a gliding bait. I did get hit on that one though. So we'll see how that goes, but you get one more bite.
Things might change a little bit.
Yep. Well, and I generally like to start off throwing the same thing a guy's throwing, even if it's a guy that guides here. And you do some guiding here on this lake.
I do not guide this lake.
You don't guide this lake,
but
okay.
Just we like coming out a lot and fishing this lake. It's a highly productive fishery, as you
Oh
can see.
my gosh, guys, I think it's time for me to get a gliding bait out.
Another little one. We got to get into some good ones, but I will take him still.
Oh, right now, dude, plus you're now 3 in a row. Look at this. Okay, I need a gliding bait. Are you fishing out a medium power rod?
This is a 6'8" medium, extra fast, Legend Extreme. I really like that rod a lot for these jigging. Yeah,
like
for any of the glide baits. It is an awesome piece of equipment. A lot of backbone to it, and that's what you need with a heavy piece of lead on this.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, because that's a heavy bait.
And with that blade, you can have a softer tip and really just sneak it along the bottom, almost scoot it along the bottom. But with these glide baits and these Johnny Darters, you have to snap them a lot harder.
A lot harder.
And you can adjust your play a little bit. Sometimes I'll fish them with mono if the fish seem like they want something a little bit more subtle. But the braid gives you the best feel when that fish eats it on the fall.
It gives you the more instant pop too on the bait.
Absolutely.
If you really want a bait to pop up off the bottom, put it on braid. All right, and I am not going to fight this. I'm going to switch real quick.
And you got a fluorocarbon leader?
Fish.
Huh? You got another one? Guys, I just want to point out real quick that I haven't had a chance to cut my bait off and tie a new one on, and he is rowing through walleyes. Go, Austin, go.
Whether it be the thin fishers or your Johnny Darters, the little bit of that slack line snap is important. And then when I'm guiding, a lot of times the biggest mistake I see is as people are working this bait in, they reel it too much as it gets close to the boat because these fish will follow it. And as soon as that bait gets vertical and kind of shoots backwards, those fish will inhale it. And if you don't, if you reel too much, there's a problem. There we go. There was
Oh,
he came off.
He came off. Okay. That's my first throw with a glide bait, just for the record. That's my first throw with the Johnny Darter. Fish, got him.
Seems like a better one too.
Yep, it is a better one. All right, man, oh man. That is a good bite. Nope, pal hooked him on the belly. Yep, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Right off. So sometimes just letting it sit just on the bottom just for a second, that fish just drives down and pins that bait to the bottom, and then on that next snap, next thing you know, you got a
You
fish.
stick him. Good Lord, he is rowing them. I can't believe it. And I'm thrilled just for, you want to net him?
He feels definitely
Oh yeah, that's a
little bit
nice
better.
one. Yeah, I'll net that one. Oh, don't do that, Chad.
Not too bad, but
Dang it. Oh.
on and off.
Net fail number 2,516 on Fishful Thinker Television. And you're letting it hit the bottom each time.
Each time, and not much reeling. I'm only reeling about one crank in between.
Fish. There you go. Oh, but he told us that if we got out in these humps, we'd go to town on him. And I'm pretty sure this fish is foul hooked. Just because the way he's fighting. Yeah, he's fighting really funny. Yeah, he is foul hooked right on the tail. I figured he was. And then, yeah, just to keep him easy, yep. Walter, there is no shortage of those things in here.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Peterson Toyota, Fort Collins, Colorado. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, spend more time on the water.
When you guys keep looking at this weather around us, one thing us here at Fishful Thinker is you need rain in your town, you call us. We will most commonly come get your rain for you. Get him? Fish. Good Lord, dude, are you kidding me? Fish.
Mine's another on the smaller side.
Oh, bud, are you kidding me? No, I don't know. I have a feeling I got another foul hooked one. I do have another foul hooked one. That tells me my bait's wrong. I have now caught 4 of them, and all 4 of them have been foul hooked. He's caught about 8, and all 8 of them have been hooked in the mouth. So I think my bait color is off a little bit, Austin, and I may need to make a change on that.
Fire it up.
Well, Austin, when you and I did this type of fishing, offshore stuff before, we did the blade baits at Chatfield.
Yes.
We did the Johnson Thin Fishers at Chatfield, and we murdered them about just like this, one after the other. And my point being is one of the things about offshore walleyes or offshore fish in general, bass, whatever, once you get a school of them going, get after them. Because usually they all start doing the same thing, like, oh, okay, good. And when they're offshore, they're grouped up. You get one good bite, you can usually parlay that into other bites in a hurry.
Absolutely.
If you keep fishing. Kevin Van Dam, the most successful guy in all of tournament bass fishing, has made a lot of money by getting offshore schools of bass to go and then just staying on them, you know, which is kind of our theory right here. There's a good one there. And look, he actually bit. That's my first one in the mouth. Somebody write that down. Look at that one, guys. And guys, that's what we're looking for. Thank you, Mr. Parr. That right there would be a perfect eating size walleye for sure. We'll put him back gently because he played nice. Yeah, that was a weird one. He got it right at the very top.
They don't do that very often.
No, oh my God. Ugh, I got that one. That one was in the high in the water column as well. And I don't know what is that, dude? That's not a walleye, is it? It is a little walleye. Dude, that bait barely hit the water and he was on it. That walleye was literally right under the surface. I mean, it hit the water and he smoked
Double.
it. Nice, nice. Oh man, guys, you know, if we put them together, we got one good one, but you know, we're sitting on an offshore hump that, as long as the wind will let us sit on here, we'll sit and we'll see. This will definitely make your tree bite tough, blowing right in there.
It's all about adjustment though.
Yeah.
So, you know, you adjust to where the conditions
Well,
allow.
our goal today is, guys, for real, was to fish in the trees some because this water's high and it's flooded into the trees, but these are not conditions for being up in the trees and fishing. These are for sure offshore conditions. Yeah, you can't get fish pinned. This
Nope.
isn't it. One thing about a bait like this Johnny Darter glide bait, gliding jig, it's extremely heavy, it's extremely hard, it doesn't smell right, it doesn't taste right. Same kind of thing with a jig and spoon or a blade bait. They are not gonna hold this thing. They're gonna smack it on a reaction, basically on the motion that it's making, and that's it. They're not going to grab it and hold it or swim off with it. This is not a line watching thing. That's a pretty sustained wind too. It's not a gusting thing at all. It's just howling. And notice the fish shut off once the wind started.
did.
All right. Well, they still bite even in the wind, guys. This wind is gonna keep us honest. You know, it's funny, when you travel and film a fishing show for a living, you run into all kinds of stuff. Yesterday, we couldn't buy a bite. I mean, we could not buy a bite, and it was glass calm. Today, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll show you as I'm taking water over the bow of a 20-foot Ranger boat. So there's another one, guys, and that's what they all look like. That is a legal keeper on this lake. We're gonna get him back. I wanna show you my bait real quick. So this is a Johnny Darter. It's extremely heavy, and they're available in a bunch of different sizes. It's extremely heavy. It's tied to the top, so the bait fishes vertical, and it's got a little fin right here that makes it glide on the drop. But because it's so heavy, it drops real fast. We've got a bright color on it. I've got it on 15-pound fluorocarbon, trilene 100% fluorocarbon leader, and 15-pound braid, trilene braid, and a 6'8" medium extra fast Mojo bass rod. And a little Revo SX size 30 reel. When do you decide for a blade bait versus a gliding jig like this Johnny Darter?
So in a situation like this, when you have a lot of wind, the Johnny Darter is a lot better of a choice just because you're able to retain better bottom contact.
Do we need to net him?
Oh, we're just gonna swing him
you
on
got
up
him.
here.
All right, good
So,
job.
And with that better bottom contact, you're able to feel your bites a lot better and present that bait a lot more accurately.
Yeah, like this
Yeah, just like that one right there. But when you're up shallower, I'll choose that thin fisher a little bit more, just because you're not pegging that bottom quite as hard. When you're running a 3/4 ounce bait, when you're up shallow, it's tough. But out here in a little bit deeper water, when you're looking to try and retain bottom contact in the wind, the Johnny Darter is a great choice.
I can tell. Just because we're catching these by the gajillion at this point.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate. Abu Garcia for life. St. Croix Rods. Best rods on earth.
And when we first pulled up here this morning, guys, which was not very long ago at this point, there was shad all over this hump. And yeah, there's apparently walleyes all over this hump as well. Let me see.
Just cracking them.
I guess. And we're hoping the wind will give us a chance at some point, but you see that amount of dust coming off behind me, guys? We are in the high plains of Colorado here, and wind is no joke. These lakes can get nasty in a hurry.
Got to be really careful on these lakes. You know, you get big boats and everything out here, but even in a big 20-foot Ranger,
Yeah.
things can get really hairy really fast.
The one good thing is that, look at this little cutie.
That one, that's one of the first ones on that back hook.
Yeah, it is the first one on the back hook anyway.
This fish is feeling a little bit heavier. He's
Does he?
got the characteristic of kind of one of those pins on the bottom here.
Oh yeah, it's foul hooked, you mean?
I think he's foul.
Okay. And that's the problem. I will say this, guys. Anytime you're fishing a blade bait, a snap jig, you know, something like this gliding jig, you have a really good opportunity, a really good chance, I should say. I don't really want to call it an opportunity, but you're gonna foul hook some fish. Bottom line, jig and spoons. It's just because of the speed that the bait's moving and the fish come in and they react on it real fast, and then
That is exactly the case on this one.
yeah, there you go. Perfect example of it. He's hooked in the butt. Swing him on up here. He's hooked in the butt. Yep, right in the side.
And they'll just kind of slash at it sometimes. And if their slash equates with your pull and they miss it, that's
Right.
when, you know, you'll get them right there on that belly.
Do you think if we were to leave this hump and come back?
Yes, they're going to be here still.
Do you think, well, no, can we catch them somewhere else, do you think? Best guess.
So, okay, so there's a fish right there.
Not as good as we can catch them. So guys, what we're talking about, in case you're curious while Austin is murdering yet another one of these walleyes, is you can see that wind coming behind us. And I hate to leave biting fish, but there's a good chance that we're gonna go ahead and pull off of this hump for a little bit and get up tighter to the bank to deal with what may be coming
Normally
here.
not what you want to do.
No, normally I don't like to hide from the wind, but good one. We need to net him.
I'm gonna go ahead and
You
just
gonna net
scoop
him?
this one up here.
Okay.
He seems just a little bit better.
Let me see.
And off right in the net. That's a decent
Oh,
one
that's
right
a
there.
good sized fish right there.
Notice how healthy
You know what, guys? I
these fish
think
are,
what we're
too.
gonna do, Austin, I think we're gonna put a couple of these in the box and take them home and cook them on the Camp Chef, because that's a perfect keeper. What did they got to do, 15?
15 inches.
So that's a perfect keeper in here to eat. Guys, we're Selective Harvest. We keep fish between like 15 and 18 maybe,
Absolutely.
wherever we go. All right, I like this one. This one will get big. Fish. There you go. Whack. Oh man, there's a lot of fish right here.
This fish was kind of interesting. I pulled up and I lost all my tension.
Yeah. Well, a pressure bite or a push bite, guys call those.
Another decent one too.
Got him? Nicely done. You know it's getting good, guys, when you don't even have to net for each other, you're willing to lose one of them. And we have caught a pile of fish so far this morning. Let me see. That's 15 incher too.
I think it's more like 17.
So, well, there you go. We'll
Thick
put that
across
one
the
on the
back.
Camp Chef too. Dude, there is a pile. Austin, you got a pile of fish sitting out here. I mean, guys, we fish a lot of places and we run into a lot of walleye bites, but you don't generally catch them one after the other. Here's a perfect eater right here, and he swallowed my deal. There we go. We'll take that one. I think that's our limit, right? We can have some with the camera guy, and that's 5, guys, and that's a perfect eater right there. We'll take him home.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. Otterbox, the great outdoors just got greater with coolers, dry duffels, and tumblers. St. Croix Rods, best rods on earth.
Okay, so I adjusted my technique just a little bit. I went on a little bit more of a sideways pop.
So you're keeping the bait even tighter to the bottom.
Yep, and there's times when you get on these fish and you really crush them. The fish does feel a little bit larger here, Chad. We'll see if he's got a good head shake. I think it's a little bit nicer fish.
Oh, that's a real nice fish. Come here, buddy. That's a nice fish. That's a dandy, guy. That's a dandy. That's a good fish right there.
Heck yeah.
That'd be a good eating one. We're done. Oh,
flapping right on
nice. You made the bouncing move out of here. Nice job, dude. All right, guys, I think we have wore this hole out. We've probably caught 40 of them sitting right here. Fish. There we go. Got him. Got him. There's one right there. Not the giant, but that's okay. Oh, that's a nice one there, bud. And you got him on the chin. I think that one might be going on the Camp Chef too. Austin is put us on fish yet again. So much easier to have fun when you're catching fish one after the other. I think we're up to probably 20, 25 fish, and we've been fishing about 25 minutes. We have caught a lot of fish. That's a good looking walleye right there. We'll take home, we'll put on the Camp Chef. Perfect eating walleye right there. Whole gullet full of nothing. Nicely done, bud. That's just like one of the other 50 of them we've caught. That's a good looking walleye. That guy's going in the box right there, and we're gonna eat him. Hey guys, so thanks for joining me here on the shores of beautiful Horsetooth Reservoir. We stepped away from the walleye fishing here for just a minute or two to show you a really simple recipe that I really like. It's kind of an African fish stew, and like a lot of the recipes you see on here on Fishful Thinker, you can make this with just about any kind of white meat fish that you have. It's very, very simple. All the ingredients I need are with me here in this Otterbox Trooper 20 cooler. It's also made in a size 12, a smaller version of it as well. It's a soft-sided cooler, goes pretty much everywhere I go. And I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in here, probably a couple, 3 tablespoons, just enough to really get the bottom of the pan good and wet. I've got about maybe half of an onion that I chopped up, and we're just gonna give these onions a minute or two. I always add a tiny pinch of salt. I'm going to add in about, probably 2.5 cloves of garlic. So what I'm gonna add now is what amounts to maybe a half a can of diced tomatoes. All right, we'll let that cook for just a minute. So now I'm going to go in here with some sliced bell peppers. We took some of the liquid out of the diced tomatoes, And now we're gonna turn it down all the way to low. Half a can of coconut milk. So we'll put a little bit of salt in here and a little bit of fresh pepper. And this is a bunch of white bass, guys. And I took this white bass and I cut it up into chunks. And then I hit it with a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of lime juice, and then some paprika and some cumin and some salt. And I just been letting it sit here in the trooper while I was getting everything else ready to cook it. It's been there for probably 20 minutes, something like that. We're gonna take all of this fish, and like I said, it's about maybe 3/4 of a pound, maybe not even quite that much. It's one big thick white bass. And we're gonna pour that along with a little bit of lemon and lime that was in there. Now that the fish is in there, we'll stir all of it together. I'm gonna add a little bit of dried cilantro in here as well. We're gonna put a lid on it and let it sit until the fish will flake apart, and I predict that will take about 10 minutes. Now, anytime we're working with fish like this, guys, we wanna make sure we don't overcook the fish, so we just barely want it to flake. So I'm gonna pop this open. You can see it's cooking a little bit harder now than it was cooking before, so I'll go ahead and turn this heat down. And as I play with it, these are starting to come apart. These big chunks of fish are just starting to flake apart. And in my world, that means they are done. So we're gonna turn this off altogether. We'll put a lid on it and just let it coast for a couple minutes. Okay guys, so this has been sitting now for about 10 minutes since we finished cooking it, turned off. Just let it sit here and rest, let all the flavors come together, things like that. So let's go ahead and make a plate of it. And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bowl, we'll hit it with a couple of green onions right on top that I sliced up. All right guys, so there you have it. One beautiful bowl of an African style fish chowder stew, whatever you want to call it, between the tomatoes and the coconut and everything in there. It's gonna be really delicious. I'm not gonna taste this one right now because I know it's screaming hot, but I've made this recipe a whole bunch of times and I know it's really good. I know you guys will like it. If you want the recipe, you can get that at fishfulthinker.com. Of course, we'll have it up on our YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it if you join the conversation across all social media platforms at Fishful Thinker. Most importantly, we hope you'll tune in and we'll see you next week.
Time now for today's best catch, brought to you by Berkley.
Oh, that's a real nice fish. Come here, buddy. That's a nice fish, dude. And that's a dandy, guy. That's a dandy.
Berkley, catch more fish.
Oh, that was a bite way out there. Paid more the faster you catch them. Okay. Oh, yeah, that would have been a good one to catch. Fish? Oh, no. Fish? Nope. Oh, and he pulled off too. Dang it. I just like fish that bite. There you go, Captain Obvious. I want to point out that every boat except for one on this whole lake is a Ranger walleye boat.
Oh, and he pulled up.
Did he? Oh, no, wait.